Okay, my first mistake was right here. The panel line went past where it should have. I got it off by just using some wet, dry 600 grit sandpaper. Came right off. I'm going to try the same thing with the panel line mistake I made over in here. It's barely visible anyhow. I burnished it around with my fingernail. I'm almost willing to bet a little light sanding with the 600 grit will get rid of it. That's one of the reasons why I didn't go into scoring the panel lines real hard. Because when you make a slight slip like that, you can get rid of it pretty quickly. And, you know, it comes out looking okay in the end. So I'm almost done with all the panel lines, which means I can finally finish putting this thing together. Alright, I'm done fixing the mistakes on the panel lines. It just took some wet sanding with some 600 grit sandpaper to get rid of them. That's because I wasn't scoring it too deeply when I was doing it. So, to summarize, when you're scoring panel lines, take it real slow and carefully. Don't use a lot of pressure at the start. You can ramp up the pressure as you get the groove established. Okay? This is only the third model I've scored panel lines on. And it's so much better than the first model. First model I didn't have straight lines. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. There's places everywhere where I was literally just putting a lot of force on that scoring tool. The grooves are deep, they're jaggedy. This one, the grooves come out very nice. Let me zoom in on this so maybe we can see that. And hopefully the camera will focus on them, unlike what it normally does. The panel lines came out real nice across the top up here. Yeah, you can see them. It came out real nice across the top here. On the underside, where I completely sanded them away, they came out very nice too. And it's because I'm not putting a lot of pressure on them. Okay? I'm not putting a lot of pressure at all on this. So what's up next is I get to finish, finally, I get to finish assembling this thing. And then I can start painting it. The Space Shuttle's almost done with its paint. I just have to do a teeny bit more taping, which I'm going to do tonight. And then it needs a gray coat in a few places on the nose and on the edges of the wings. And I can pull all that tape off and see how the Space Shuttle came out. And then this thing gets painted. And decaled. The Space Shuttle needs its decals. Space Shuttle gets some weathering, this doesn't. This gets a nice glossy finish. The Space Shuttle gets a nice flat finish. So there's still some fun left. I still have to polish up this windshield where I completely frosted it earlier anyhow. So we'll get into that. We're going to have to mask that too. I think I'm going to paint this whole model, then put the windshield in because of the way it works. So that windshield might be one of the last things I do. Alright, I'll be back when I finally get her put together. Okay. Another update. 747. I've got her put together. Almost. What's missing are the extra fins I put for stability on the tail. Okay. And the landing gear. The landing gear I'm not going to put on until she's pretty much painted. Simply because it would be too much to try to mask those landing gear. I've already got a nasty piece of masking work to do with these engines. Let me zoom in a little bit. Okay. Now, and again, I've got some bad masking with the engines. Because when I look at the photos, I'm not going off box art, I'm going off photos I find on NASA's website and others. There's a bright silver ring around the outside of the engines, then the rest of the engine pod is gray. The wings are an aluminum silver color. The body is half white, half gray. Okay? Now, the problem I'm having here is these stabilizers. Alright? Now I'm going to zoom in real tight on one of them and let's see if we can see the problem I'm having with it. About as tight as I'm going to get, I think. Yeah, I think you can see it. There's a waver in it right here where the molding on the other side is coming through the plastic. Let me turn her over. This molding mark right here, this where it snaps on the end of the wing, again is showing on the other side. There's some nasty mold marks on the inside of this. Okay? And yes, those mold marks are going to be very visible to anyone really inspecting the model, so they gotta go. And I thought I was done with seam filling on this model. I'm sick of seam filling this thing. Okay, so I'm going to have to fix the seams on this. Not seams per se, but mold marks. And it's on both of them. This one just happens to be worse. You can really feel it when you run your finger across that thing. It's pretty bad. So I got to fix that and then glue that on there. Then I can finally mask this thing and begin painting it. Now the space shuttle itself is near complete. I'm doing the last coat of paint on it today. I'm putting some gray on it because I find gray in the photos of it. And once that's done, I can pull the masking off tomorrow and show everyone how well the masking held up and my little tricks with spraying the same color again on top of the masking. See how that worked out. So I get to see how Tamiya paints handle being masked, see if they pull up with the tape. If they are pulling up with the tape, then I would say the problem I'm having with that is me, not the paint. If they aren't pulling up with the tape, then the problem was the paint. So, we'll find out about that when I get done with that tomorrow in the next update.